Hello, dear listeners. Welcome to another episode of Sleepy Voyages. I'm your host, Arthur, and I'm grateful to take you with me in this sweet lullaby. In the vast world of tales and stories, some narratives stand out not only for their captivating characters and settings, but also for the profound lessons they carry. Tonight, you've joined us on a journey unlike any other. We're venturing into a tale drenched in shadow and allure. The ambience outside mirrors our story's mood, but this isn't just any night. This is a night where we embrace a story, one whispered through the centuries, discussed in hushed tones around campfires and candlelit room. And while we navigate this tale, remember to find a spot where you're most comfortable, whether it's cocooned in blankets, resting your head on a plush pillow, or simply ensconced in your favorite chair. Make sure you're at ease. This voyage isn't just about the story, but it's also about you. Tonight, we journey to a realm where legends linger in the misty shadows of the past. The land is Transylvania, a realm drenched in history, wrapped in enigma, and steeped in tales that dance on the edges of reality and myth. Before we tuck you in tonight, voyagers of the night sky, we have a small but crucial request. As your eyelids grow heavy and the soothing tones of Sleepy Voyages guide you to the realm of dreams, remember the peace, serenity, and comfort that we bring to you every night, just as a lighthouse guides lost ships. In the darkness, your reviews help other restless dreamers find their way to us. By leaving a review and sharing your thoughts on your experience, you are reaching out to other insomniacs lost in the night, guiding them towards restful sleep. Take a moment before you drift away to click on the Leave a Review button on your podcast app. Help us extend our galaxy of tranquility to all those who seek the solace of sound sleep. And once you've done that, feel free to slip back under the covers of our sleep stories, ready to be whisked away on another sleepy voyage. Remember, your stars light the way for others. Every review, every rating helps us create a bigger, more beautiful universe of peace and rest. At the heart of this tale is Count Dracula, a name that has echoed through centuries, stirring a mix of dread and intrigue. But why? What is it about this enigmatic figure that has both haunted and fascinated generations? In our voyage tonight, we unravel not just the legend of Dracula, but the very essence of temptation. The darkness that sometimes beckons us, inviting us to abandon reason and give in to our most primal urges. While Dracula stands as a symbol of this temptation, remember, every legend, every myth holds a mirror to our own souls. As the tale unfolds, you'll be invited to look inward, to explore the edges of your own temptations, and perhaps to find the dawn that follows every night. Relax, breathe deeply, and let the ancient echoes of Transylvania guide you into a restful slumber and a journey of self-reflection. Imagine your surroundings melting away, leaving only the soft embrace of your bed or the comfort of your favorite chair. The world outside begins to blur, replaced by the gentle ebb and flow of your own breath. The fabric you're resting on feels softer, more inviting. It cradles you, offering a sanctuary from the bustling world beyond. Your eyelids may feel heavy, and that's perfectly all right. Let each exhale carry away any tension. Allow gravity to do its job, pressing you gently but firmly into your resting place. This is your time, a precious moment reserved just for you. Transylvania, a region nestled within the central part of Romania, holds its ground as a realm of mysteries and legends, cradled by the Carpathian Mountains. Its rugged landscapes are a testament to the eons that have passed. Forests, dense and deep, stretched for miles, their trees bearing silent witness to tales both real and imagined. Small villages dot the land, where life continues much as it has for centuries, unhurried and undisturbed. The air here feels ancient, laden with whispers from yesteryears. It's a place where folklore and truth dance a delicate waltz, each step blending seamlessly into the next. Many tales have been born in this land, but none quite as compelling or as haunting as that of Count Dracula. For it is in Transylvania that the legend of the vampire finds its roots, growing and evolving, shaped by the winds, the land, and its people. This isn't just a tale of the supernatural, but one deeply intertwined with the fabric of this region's culture, history. Generations of Transylvanians have passed down stories, often in hushed tones, of encounters with the night, of shadows that move and hearts that beat no more. Yet it isn't just fear that these stories convey, but also respect, understanding, and a nod to the unknown. acknowledging the complex tapestry of life, death, and everything in between. Nestled atop a jagged cliff, the silhouette of Castle Dracula looms imposingly against the backdrop of the Carpathian Mountains. Each stone of this ancient fortress seems to whisper tales from a time long past. Its towers, reaching skyward, appear as guardians, standing tall and unyielding against countless storms and centuries. Intricate carvings, eroded by time, tell tales of battles, passion, and the mystery that shrouds the Count who calls this place home. A labyrinth of hallways and chambers unfolds within, with archways leading to vast ballrooms that have entertained guests of prestige and corridors that seem to stretch endlessly, echoing the footsteps of those who dared traverse them. The castle, though mighty in its stature, holds an air of solitude. Its walls, thick and insulating, mute the sounds of the world outside, leaving only the soft murmur of secrets carried by the winds. Large balconies offer sweeping views of the Transylvanian landscape, with dense forests sprawling out like a dark velvet blanket, only interrupted by the glinting serenity of distant rivers. As night descends, the castle is bathed in the silvery glow of the moon, casting shadows that dance and merge with the myths surrounding this enigmatic resident. Here, time stands still, suspended between legend and reality, awaiting those who seek to discover its many tales. In the shadowed corners of Transylvania, where the ancient land kisses the modern world, there exists an enigma, a space where truth intertwines with tales. The towering oaks and whispering pines have stood as silent witnesses, holding secrets passed down from one generation to the next. The land itself seems to pulsate with an energy, an aura that challenges the discerning mind to differentiate between what's real and what's spun from the yarns of old storytellers. Villagers with faces etched with the lines of time and wisdom gather around warm hearths in the evening. They share stories, not just as mere entertainment, but as a way to keep their heritage alive, weaving intricate tapestries of myths and truths, tales of spirits, enchanted beings, and supernatural occurrences are told with a fervor that makes them feel palpable, almost as if they're unfolding right before one's eyes. Among these tales, the legend of Dracula stands tall, its roots deeply entrenched in the region's history. Some say he was a fierce warrior, a protector of these lands. Others whisper about a being with an insatiable thirst whose eyes held a darkness deeper than the night itself. The line separating folklore from fact becomes almost indistinguishable, especially when dusk envelops Transylvania in its embrace. The wind carries, murmurs, the waters reflect memories, and the very air feels thick with the weight of stories waiting to be told. This delicate balance, where reality seems to dance with legend, not only captivates the imagination, but beckons one to listen, to understand, and to respect the power of tales that have stood the test of time. Count Dracula was not merely a man, but an enigma with eyes that seemed to pierce one's soul, and a demeanor that mixed elegance with an air of menace. He was the very essence of magnetism. It was said that once you met him, his presence lingered, echoing in your mind long after the meeting had concluded. His voice, deep and melodic, had a haunting quality. Every word he uttered felt like it was carefully chosen, designed to ensnare and captivate. But beyond his charisma was a sense of mystery. Those who encountered him often noted an odd feeling, as though they were in the presence of something far older and more powerful than a mere mortal. His clothes, though refined, held a vintage touch, hinting at an era gone by. Paleness dominated his features, contrasting sharply with the dark, almost hypnotic gaze that few could meet for long. And while many were drawn to him, just as many felt an inexplicable caution. It was as if, instinctively, they recognized the dangers of getting too close, of becoming entangled in his web. Many tales swirled around him, of his origin, his true nature, and his desires. Some said he was a nobleman, others whispered he was a monster. Yet, regardless of the tales, one truth was universally acknowledged. Count Dracula was a force unto himself, commanding both fascination and fear in equal measure. His presence in the castle has remained unchanging as centuries rolled by like water over ancient stones, while empires rose and fell, and the very landscape of Europe shifted. Dracula's visage remained untouched by the wear and tear of time. Legends often whispered of his encounters with various generations of village folk, where he exhibited the same youthful vigor, the same cold, penetrating eyes, and the same hypnotic charisma that many found impossible to resist. But what is the secret to this eternal existence? Some speculate it's the result of dark pacts made with the shadowy realms. Others believe it's his vampiric nature that allows him to feed off the life force of others, granting him longevity beyond comprehension. And while the mysteries surrounding his ageless state captivate many, it's the wisdom, or perhaps the curse, of countless lifetimes that reflects in his demeanor. Every gesture, every word he utters, carries the weight of centuries of experience. One can only imagine the secrets he holds, the sights he's witnessed, and the evolution of the world through his eyes, through wars, peace, love, and loss. Dracula has remained ever watchful and ever enigmatic, a timeless sentinel. He embodies the haunting allure of eternity and the profound loneliness that such an existence might entail. The villagers of Transylvania whispered tales that had been handed down from generation to generation. In hushed tones, elders spoke of Count Dracula's entrancing charisma. It was said that his mere presence could quiet a bustling room, and that his gaze could make the most defiant individual lower their eyes. Children were often lulled to sleep with warnings, tales of a count who could summon wolves and mist at will, who held sway over the night and its creatures. Yet, for all the tales of dread, there was an undeniable intrigue. Was it the allure of power that made Dracula a subject of hushed conversation? Or was it the promise of immortality, a seduction hard to resist? Travelers from distant lands, upon entering Transylvanian taverns, would often be met with hushed voices when inquiring about the castle that loomed overhead. Innkeepers, with a wary glance towards the mountains, would advise against venturing near the castle after dusk. Among the myriad of rumors, a recurring theme emerged. Many claimed to have seen him wandering the village borders during twilight, always alone, always watching. Others spoke of eerily captivating melodies drifting down from the castle on particularly moonlit nights, bewitching those. One thing was certain: the legend of Dracula was inseparably woven into the fabric of Transylvanian life, a testament to the enduring power of myth and the collective imagination of its people. In the heart of Transylvania, a legend grew, a tale so enigmatic it managed to bewitch the minds of both the young and old. Dracula, not just a count, but a figure draped in a cloak of allure, stood as the embodiment of enticement and enigma. Now, imagine a presence so commanding that every shadow seemed to whisper his name, where the very air felt thick with anticipation. His castle, perched high and mighty, was not just made of bricks and mortar. It was an extension of his persona, silent yet speaking volumes. To many, Dracula was a riddle wrapped in a mystery, but to some, he was the epitome of temptation. It wasn't merely his appearance, which was captivating in its own right, with those piercing eyes that seemed to know the very depths of one's soul. No, it was more than that. It was his aura, the invisible force that drew people in, like moths to a flame, even if they knew the dangers that lurked. Every gesture, every word he spoke, dripped with an enigmatic charm, making one question: what was the secret behind this being, who seemed so human yet so distant? But herein lay the most potent allure of all. How does one resist the pull of such a force? Is it even possible to remain untouched by his magnetic field? For the world around Dracula seemed to dance to his tunes, a symphony of allure and danger, passion and dread. And as tales of his enchantment spread, a question began to form in the minds of many. What was the price of getting close, of unlocking the secrets, of understanding the charm and mystery of Dracula? It's a question that, like the legend himself, remains unanswered, leaving only whispers in the dark and a lesson about the potent pull of the unknown. In the small village at the foot of the Carpathian Mountains, whispers circulated of an outsider who had recently arrived, a curious traveller from a distant land, drawn to Transylvania by tales of its rich history and the allure of Castle Dracula. The visitor set out one crisp morning to ascend the mountainous path that led to the famed castle. As the journey began, the fog enveloped the path, rendering the way forward both mystifying and enchanting. Every step taken felt like a walk between two worlds, as the ancient cobblestones underfoot told tales from the villagers the traveler had heard, both cautionary tales and legends of old. Elders spoke of the castle as a place where time stood still, while children played and sang of Count Dracula's eternal reign. Despite the warnings, the traveler's determination was unwavering. There was a hunger, not just for adventure, but for understanding, a desire to unravel the enigma that was Count Dracula and his eternal abode. Birds, seeming to sense the importance of this journey, serenaded the traveler from the treetops, their melodies echoing the emotions of trepidation and wonder. With every twist and turn, the castle's silhouette grew more pronounced against the sky, its spires reaching out, as if trying to touch the heavens. It stood as a testament to power, age, and the mysteries the world held. But as the distance closed, the immensity of the endeavor began to weigh on the traveler. The castle, with its towering walls and ancient battlements, was both a beacon and a warning. Arriving at the castle's entrance, the visitor was met with a silence that seemed almost deliberate, as if the very stones of the castle were holding their breath. The massive wooden doors loomed ahead, bearing the weight of countless tales and legends. Without a backward glance, the traveller approached the entrance, hand outstretched, ready to confront the legend that lay within. Upon stepping inside the grand halls of Castle Dracula, the visitor was immediately captivated by its splendor. The walls, draped in rich velvets of deep crimson and midnight blue, whispered tales of yesteryears, while opulent chandeliers cast a soft golden glow, revealing intricate frescoes that danced with shadows. Every corner of the castle held an artifact, a painting or a statue, each more intriguing than the last. They seemed to chronicle centuries, holding secrets from different epochs, silently watching as time ebbed and flowed. Yet, with every step, a feeling of unease grew. There was an intangible weight in the air, almost like the very castle was breathing, its cold stone walls pulsing with an unseen heartbeat. Echoing footfalls in distant corridors and fleeting shadows just at the periphery of vision heightened the visitor's senses. Every creak and whisper amplified their anticipation, a mix of wonder and wariness. The temperature seemed to drop subtly, the air thickening with an ancient chill. It was a place of beauty, of history, and yet something lurked beneath, a shadow of the past, waiting. The echoing laughter of feasts gone by mingled with the low hum of murmurs, as if the spirits of those who'd once graced these halls still lingered, held captive by the castle's magnetic pull. And in this enchantment, two truths became evident. The castle was very much alive with memories, and there was no going back. The journey into its depths had begun, and every chamber and hallway beckoned with both promise and peril. It was a dance of light and shadow, of allure and apprehension, setting the stage for an encounter that would challenge the very core of the visitor's beliefs and desires. In the dimly lit grand hall of Castle Dracula, the atmosphere was heavy with anticipation. Every shadow seemed to move, and every candle flickered as if it were alive. The visitor, a young scholar from a distant land, was both enchanted and uneasy. He had heard whispers of the castle's allure, and yet nothing could have prepared him for the enigma that stood before him. The Count's eyes, deep and penetrating, held an otherworldly glow. They were the kind that seemed to pierce through one's soul, seeking the very essence of their being. "Welcome." Dracula's voice was smooth, a gentle caress to the ears, yet it bore an underlying tone of authority. "Many have come to my abode, seeking knowledge, power, and the secrets that lie within these ancient walls. The scholar felt an irresistible pull, a yearning deep within. It was as if a hidden part of him was awakening, eager to know more, to be more. Imagine, Dracula continued, his voice dropping to a seductive whisper, possessing power beyond your wildest dreams. Think of the respect, the admiration, the influence you would have over others. The visitor's heartbeat quickened, and life. The Count's voice was almost a sigh, filled with a mixture of melancholy and yearning. Eternal life. To see the world evolve, to witness its wonders, to never be touched by the cold hand of death. The room seemed to close in. The weight of centuries, the allure of timeless existence pressed upon the scholar's mind. But there's more. Dracula leaned in closer, the candlelight casting a haunting glow upon his sharp features. The secrets of the world, knowledge lost to time. The air grew colder, each word wrapping around the visitor like a silken web. The allure of unknown knowledge, the very mysteries of existence beckoned him, the promise of power, eternal life, and arcane secrets. It was an offer few could resist. And yet, as the visitor would soon discover, with great temptation comes an even greater inner struggle. In the dimly lit chambers of Castle Dracula, the visitor found themselves entranced by the rich tapestries that hung from the walls, each depicting tales of power, love, and ambition. The room smelled of old books and hints of incense. Every corner seemed to hide a mystery. The Count's presence was magnetic, yet every instinct told the visitor to remain guarded. The air was thick with anticipation, like the moment before a storm breaks, charging every sensation with electricity. Dracula leaned in, his voice smooth and hypnotic. For eons, I've been witness to the world's secrets. Would you not want to share in these truths? The promise of knowledge, of power beyond comprehension, was tempting, but the visitor's gut twisted in unease. Memories of the whispered warnings from villagers danced in their mind, intermingling with the allure of the Count's offers. With every moment spent in Dracula's company, the battle within grew. The heart, curious and daring, whispered, "Imagine the possibilities, the realms unexplored, the truths untold." But a deeper, more primal voice countered, "Some doors, once opened, can never be closed." Each passing second felt like hours. The weight of centuries seemed to bear down upon the visitor's shoulders. The temptation was immense, pull almost unbearable, and in that eternal struggle between desire and intuition, the visitor was caught, teetering on the edge of destiny's blade. The night grew colder, the hush more profound, with the crescent moon casting long shadows across the stone corridors of Castle Dracula. The visitor's heart raced, a juxtaposition of fascination and a looming dread. While the air thickened with anticipation, Count Dracula, with his ageless charm, stood in the candlelit room, the flickering light casting dancing patterns across his sharp features. His voice, honeyed and almost hypnotic, resonated in the depths of the castle as he whispered secrets of life beyond mortal comprehension. Yet, as Dracula spun tales of immortal power and otherworldly pleasures, a small voice within the visitor grew louder. It was a voice of reason, of memories, of sunlit days, of laughter with loved ones, and the simple joys of life. The castle's grandeur, with its ornate tapestries and shimmering chandeliers, suddenly felt stifling. A beautiful prison of sorts. Dracula's eyes, deep and endless, tried to ensnare the visitor, their magnetic pull promising a union of souls, a life beyond life. However, amidst the heavy velvet drapes and the intoxicating allure, an image began to form in the visitor's mind. It was the sight of dawn, of golden rays piercing the morning mist, of new beginnings and endless possibilities. This image, radiant and hopeful, became the visitor's anchor. No longer did the idea of eternal life in the shadows appeal to them, for they yearned for the warmth of the sun, the touch of a gentle breeze, and the melody of birds at dawn. The power Dracula promised seemed hollow in comparison to the power of human connection, love, and the thrill of a new day. And so, even in the heart of the castle, under Dracula's very gaze, the visitor mustered the strength to resist, to stay true to their essence, their humanity. Their silent defiance was palpable, and for a brief moment, time seemed to stand still. In that suspended second, the two souls, one ancient and one mortal, acknowledged the timeless dance of temptation. The visitor had seen the face of darkness, had been tempted by its seductive charm, but chose instead the promise of a new dawn. And in doing so, they demonstrated the profound strength that resides in all of us, waiting to be summoned when we confront our deepest fears and temptations. The winding corridors of Castle Dracula, the visitor's steps echoed softly, each footfall a testament to their growing resolve. The castle, though magnificent in its ancient grandeur, was suffused with an air of haunting emptiness. The shadows cast by flickering torches seemed to dance with the secrets of ages gone by. Yet, the more time the visitor spent within these walls, the more they recognized a profound truth. The all-encompassing darkness they felt, the heavy curtains that lined the grand windows of the castle, were, at first glance, a barrier to any trace of light. But a keen observer might notice the faintest glow peeking through the edges, a hint of the world outside, one not governed by the mysterious pull of Dracula's realm. This revelation was not immediate. It was a slow realization, much like the first inkling of dawn after a long, relentless night. Darkness, as powerful and seductive as it might seem, was transient. Where there was night, day would surely follow. The visitor recalled tales of ancient civilizations, of brave souls who ventured into the abyss, only to discover that the power of darkness was often an illusion, its dominance fleeting in that very castle. Surrounded by tales of power and eternity, the visitor found a deeper understanding. The night was but a phase, and no matter how long or foreboding, it would eventually give way. The true essence of life was in the cycle. Embracing this truth, the visitor felt a weight lift, replaced by a newfound resilience. They no longer felt ensnared by the castle's enigmatic aura. Instead, they were ready to meet the dawn. The castle, while magnificent in its Gothic splendor, was no place for the faint of heart. The visitor, having experienced the intoxicating allure and subsequently the dangers lurking in the shadows of Dracula's domain, made the conscious decision to leave. Gathering belongings quickly, each step taken towards the exit was a step towards the embrace of the real world, away from the all-consuming darkness that once seemed so appealing. As the great doors of Castle Dracula creaked open, the soft rays of dawn greeted the visitor, their warmth a stark contrast to the cold chambers left behind. But with this departure came not just relief, but introspection. The charm of the unknown, the seductive pull of forbidden power, they are reflections of daily life. At times, we find ourselves enticed by promises of shortcuts to success, the allure of immediate rewards, or the magnetic pull of habits that we know, deep down, might not serve our best interests. The visitor's journey through the castle served as a powerful reminder. Darkness and temptation might be omnipresent, but they don't define our path. Our choices do. The choice to recognize the difference between a genuine opportunity and a mirage, the choice to walk away when something doesn't feel right, and the choice to seek out light, even when surrounded by shadows. In the visitor's experience, we find a lesson for ourselves. Life is filled with countless doors. Behind some lie enchantment, behind others' deceit. The challenge is not in avoiding these doors, but in knowing which ones to close behind us and which ones to walk through with confidence. As the visitor walked away from Castle Dracula, the sun rising higher in the sky, there was a newfound appreciation for the journey, for the lessons learned, and for the eternal dance between light and darkness. In the serene embrace of night, we find solace in the silence that surrounds us. Take this moment to draw a deep, calming breath, allowing the cool, refreshing air to fill your lungs, washing away any remnants of the story's tension. Exhale slowly, visualizing the purifying light of dawn. It's this very light that brings clarity after a long night, the beacon that guides us through the murkiest of paths. Now, imagine this dawn's light illuminating your thoughts, casting away the shadows of doubt, and revealing the crystal clear insights from our journey through the legend of Dracula. Dracula's story, although cloaked in the allure of immortality, reminds us of the fleeting nature of temptations. It's in the dawn's clarity that we truly see the value of resisting such enticements. No matter how mesmerizing they may appear, the dawn doesn't just signify a new day, it's a symbol of hope, of rebirth. Every morning presents a new opportunity to reflect on the choices we've made and the chance to make better ones as we move forward. Deep within, each one of us possesses a reservoir of strength. This strength empowers us to face challenges, resist temptations, and rise with the wisdom that comes from every experience. Sleepy Voyages is more than just a journey into legends and tales. Each episode is an opportunity to reflect on our own journeys, the choices we make, and the paths we choose. The legend of Dracula, with its enthralling shadows and gleams of light, offers a powerful metaphor. It serves as a reminder that temptations cloaked in allure often cast long shadows over our lives. Yet, within each of us lies the strength to recognize these shadows and seek the dawn. Your journey through the tempestuous nights of Transylvania has not just been a tale of Dracula, but a mirror to our inner struggles. Thank you for being a part of this voyage. Your presence and time you share with us are deeply cherished. May we always strive to find clarity, even when surrounded by the darkest of temptation. Stay curious, and may your dreams be filled with insight and tranquility until we meet again on another Sleepy Voyage. Good night, dear Voyager. See you in the next episode.